Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we will assign the numbering for our booking entity and booking supplement entity. Currently in our applications, we have to give the booking and booking entity number based on the front end. But now we will do the early numbering for the booking and booking supplement like we did for the early numbering for the travel. There is one minor difference when we assign the numbering for the booking and booking supplement. Since we have assigned the number already for the travel entity, which is generating from the numbering object, because the booking and booking supplement entities are linked to the travel entity, so we can give the generic number like the 1 2 3 for each travel instance. So we no need to use the numbering object for the our booking and booking supplement entities. To do the numbering for the booking entity, what we will do, first we will read that particular travel entity by association from the database and get the latest number from the database. Second thing, whatever the current screen in the current interaction phase, whatever the latest number of the booking, that also we will get, because we want to make sure if we have created in current interaction phase 2 or 3 bookings, so in the database only will be available initial 2 and later 3 entities will be available in the interaction phase. So based on these 2 max booking ID, we will compare those and we will get the maximum booking ID currently available either on the database or in my front end screen. Once I get that maximum booking number, I will add in that one and I will get the next booking number, and I will give that booking number, next booking number, in the our behavior definition. So we already make sure that booking and booking supplement number read only in behavior definition in my last video, and we have implemented the method also, but we didn't write the method code. We will write the code today for booking and booking supplement number generations. One more important thing we have to make sure, in the draft scenario, all this early numbering method will call 2 times. First during the interaction phase when we have to assign the key field, second during the save sequence. Due to that, because it will be called in the 2 time in the draft scenario, what we have to do, we have to make sure if already number is assigned to the booking or booking supplement, we should not assign any new number. So that we will see in the draft scenario, but we will write code now only because I will use this application to make the draft scenario as well. So without wasting the time, let's jump into the system. We'll create the code for the booking and booking supplement. We have already created the numbering method for the booking and booking supplement in my last video. We discussed about the read. Previous to read video, we already discussed about the we have maintained the behavior definition where the booking, let me show you guys. So it will be quick revision. So if you open the behavior of definition, you can see the field for the booking ID and travel ID is read only, and we have mentioned that early numbering we want to do. Same way we did for the booking supplement also, and we have generated the method for early numbering. For the booking, it generated in the travel entity because it's associated with the travel, and for the booking supplement, it's generated, the method is generated in the behavior pool of the booking because it's a booking supplement is associated with the booking. So that's the reason. So now we have to see first, whenever we develop any method is generated or we write the method, we should see the importing and exporting parameter. If you do F2 over here, you can see we have the importing parameter, which type of, not for this one, we already implemented for travel, we are doing for the booking, the numbering, and in this case for create only, we have to do F2 over here. You can see the importing and exporting parameter for this. In the importing parameter, you can see this particular, we want to create the booking. You can see yi travel taken / booking. With the association, we want to create the numbering. That is the reason it's a type of this associated entity. And we have the mapped, failed and reported entry for this particular business object, and the mapped, each one have all the 3 entities. If you want to map some error message or failed message, or you want to give some you want to update the numbering, then you use mapped. If something was failed, you have to update in failed and reported method. Now we talk about the entities, what we are going to get from this particular method. In the importing parameter, if you see the derived type of this one, we have one very important importing parameter, which is derived type, which start with the start CID reference. In the previous video, we talked about the CID. Content ID will be available till that time when the travel instance is not created. And suppose we have created we want to create the travel instance, and now I have created the travel ID. I click on the edit mode, creating the travel. Along with the travel, I'm creating the booking without clicking on the save button. I created the booking as well. That time, how system know this particular booking is belong to that travel? Because travel we didn't assign. So that is the reason, until and unless you will not create the travel, content ID will be used, CID will be used for the creating the travel. When you create the booking, that CID value will be copied to the CID reference, and that value CID reference of the travel. So whatever the content ID of the CID is there for travel, for the travel, whatever the content ID is there, that will be copied to the CID reference. And the new CID for booking, the CID for creating the booking, there will be booking CID. So that is the reason the CID reference will be having the CID value of the travel. I will show you in the debug mode also, but as of now I'm just explaining. But along with that, we have the travel ID and we have the target. Target means the associated entry. If you open this target, we have one CID. This CID is related to booking, not for the travel, because we are creating the booking in this case with association. So in the target, whatever the CID we have, that will be available, because we didn't generated the numbering for our booking yet to generate. Until unless we will not generate, we will use this CID number for further references. If you want to modify, if you want to create the booking supplement with reference to this, when we create the booking supplement, this CID value will be copied to the CID reference, and for booking supplement, they will have booking supplement have their own CID. Like currently booking is having this CID. I know little bit confusing, but when we go in debug mode, then we will see this all the values. So in the target, you can see this is the structure of booking. Apart from the CID, we have all the booking field and the control structure of the booking. Like that same, we have component group data and key, which like I have explained in my last video also. So this is all the importing and exporting parameter. Now my main aim is that, because I have to assign the booking numbering, so I have to fill the mapped field of the, let me come back one step back, that mapped field of this particular white travel taken of booking taken. This particular entity I have to fill with some number. First I have to get the number, which number I have to fill. Then I have to fill this particular Y booking taken with the new number. So for doing that, we have to write some code. Obviously, we will start writing code here. First we will define some variable called the max number. So let me define one variable, data lv underscore max. So we have to define this one. So let me declare this data. I can't do inline declaration, so this should be type of booking ID. So let me see the type. To see the type, you can go here, derived type. You can do derived type, booking ID is type of this type, Control C, and you can declare this type, Control V. So I have declared this. In last video we saw how to use the read entities statement. So we will use here read entities of our travel BO yi underscore travel takem table, and I want to read this one by association, but I am using read entities of this one, so I have to use entity name. So which entity I want to use? So entity, I want to read this particular travel taken. I am using the longer form of the read statement, not the shorter form. And by association I want to read, because I want to get all the travel entities, all the booking entities related to the travel which we are getting from the importing parameter. So by we can see the by space what all are the associations are available. I can see control space. If I do, I will get, give me 1 second, I'm not getting control space. Okay, let me give the explicitly here by underscore booking, or backward slash we have to write booking, we got the help, and from we have to specify the table, from which table, based on what condition or what all are the fields you want to get. So what I will do here, I will not use the value operator to construct, because I am getting already all the entities from the importing parameter. So I will use corresponding field, and I can, what all are the corresponding values I am getting from the importing parameter from the entities, I will pass in this particular table, and once I will read the data, I will get the result, and I can get the result in data lt underscore. Instead of getting result, there is one more thing is that result will fetch the entire data for that particular related entity. I don't need entire data, I just need the, for this table, what all are the bookings are there, I just need the relationship. To get the only the relationship, when you are reading with the association, you can, instead of using the result, you can use the link. So I can get the data, and lt underscore link data we can get. So it's very important. And one more thing important, shift F1, I'm getting one warning. So if you see the warning, when calling your behavior implementation statement variant in local mode, so when you are calling your own entity, own object, you should use in local mode. It will improve the performance. Why? Because otherwise what it will do, it will explicitly check the authorization again, because you already checked when you are running this particular method before, you have already checked, why you have to check again? So in this case, we have to use always in local mode. That's very important thing that I have explained in my last video also, and I told you we will see this one in my next video. So we have to use in local mode. It will skip the authorization check and feature control things. It will not do those kind of things, and then we can read by association, and we can get the link data in this particular lt underscore link table. So like that we have read. If you see the link data here, if you click on F2 button, link data means we have the travel ID and related travel ID, what all are the bookings we can get in the target. We have the source and target field in this link data. So you can see this is type table for read link. So in this one, if you want to declare explicitly, that also you can declare, but I did here inline declaration in this case. Okay, so this is how we have to do the declarations. Once it is done, I will loop through my entire entities. One most important thing when you do this program, so you have to know first this read I already explained. You have to know loop with group by, you have to know the reduce operator. These two I am going to use. If you are not aware about this concept ABAP new syntax, you can watch out my ABAP new syntax series where I have explained group by and the reduce operator in detail. But here I will just gonna use loop control space loop 8 this particular entities importing table. I will loop all the data. I'm just currently we are thinking we will be getting the multiple travel entities. I'm not writing from the code for the single travel entities. We are just thinking we will be getting the multiple travel entities. We have to handle together multiple travel entities, somebody editing the field. So in that way we are handling. So in this case, loop 8 all the entities, assigning field symbol. So field symbol assigning I will do again here inline declaration, assigning field symbol, and you can do the inline declaration here. And you can create your own field symbol. So this will be the group ls underscore group entities, because loop at ls underscore, or this will be table basically when we are using group, but let me give some meaningful name, ls underscore group entity. So this is the group of entities, and I have to use group by here. So in this case, group by I want to use group by, and loop at this particular shift F1 entities, assigning field symbol group by. I want to group by the control C, control V, control space, travel ID. I want to group by the travel ID. To calculate the LV max number, LV max booking, so what we will do, we will use the reduce operator. In this case, so LV max number already we have typed, so we can use the reduce operator directly, and we can use the hash, or whatever the value result will be coming from this the reduce operator. So if you don't know reduce operator, you can watch out my ABAP new syntax video. I will give you the link in the description. In that, what we have to do first, we have to initialize the variable which we want to calculate. In this case, I want to calculate the maximum booking ID, and I can pass 0 value as a initially, but in this case, since this booking ID and this 0 value will be not same, so I will convert this particular 0 whatever we are having in this one. So convert in this type, Control C, Control V, and pass this particular value. So after the conversion, whatever the value will be there, that will be converted basically. So in this case, I am converting the 0 value to the this LV max type. It will become 000, basically num C4. Or I directly can declare type, but I want to initialize also. That is the reason I have given the value. So once I have init that value, I have to loop through. Second statement in the reduce operator, you have to loop through entity. LT underscore link. For looping that, I have to use for. To work area, I have to define ls underscore link in where I want to loop in this table. And once you define the, I want to loop only those entries which is belong to the current travel ID. So I have to use the where condition, obviously, where condition, and in this case, control space, I will do where condition. We will pass in bracket in the for statement, and in this case where the source travel ID we have in the source travel ID should be equal to, because as I told you, link table will be having source and target. In the source will be having travel ID, in target it will be having travel ID along with the booking ID. So we have already booking ID which we are looping through, we are grouping by. So in this case, I will pass this particular entry, and let me pass this where condition little bit down so we can understand easily. You might be not able to see this one, so let me go a little bit up and minimize this one. It is not required, so you can see like this. One more thing, when you use loop and where condition, you have to make sure you have to pass some key if it is available. If you see this particular entity data, if you do have to, it have primary key, but it have one secondary key also with entity which is having the key field, the travel ID, and we are using the where condition travel ID only. We have to use that key. If you want to use explicitly some key, you have to use using key, and you have to specify the key name. If you do control space, you will get the help and you can pass the entity. In this case, it will just loop faster than the normal loop, normal for loop. So that is the reason you have to always use key. So in this case, I'm using this key and I want to only loop through this particular entity. And once I loop through this particular link data, I want to fill next this particular variable called LV max. This should come the value. I have to compare two values. One value which is coming from this particular link table, and one value which is currently available maximum number. So in this case, next LV max should be equal to, I have to compare. So here I have to use cond operator, conditional operator, and that should return type of this one. Control C, again the same type, and again what I have to do, I have to use when and then. When conditional operator, when this particular max is less than this particular travel ID, which we are not travel ID, we have the ls link, control C, control V, control space, target, and we have the booking ID, I think so, booking ID. If this particular booking ID is less than the LV max, then I have to consider this particular value as a LV max. So I have to write like that. Let me do then, give me 1 second. Then it's little bit complicated, but it's very useful once you will learn this all the new syntax. Control C, in this case I have to give this value as a LV max. Control C, LV max value will be updated with. Else in other case, what I will do, LV max value will be remain LV max. So this is how we have to use the not this one, we have to use the reduce operator. So let me rearrange little bit so this is how we have to use the reduce operator. Shift F1 So we are, again I am explaining, we are initializing this variable with this value, then we are using the for loop with the where condition, using the key, and we are using the next statement within the reduce operator, and we are using the conditional if else inside the, and we are getting the appropriate. One more time we will be getting LV max booking, control V, via looping the instead of this time looping that particular link table, I will loop this entities table itself for that particular table ID. So I will use the same statement, reduce again. So this, now it will not take time, so let me do init. Again I have to initialize some value. In this case, init value will be initial value will be the current max booking. We no need to specify the again initialize, because we have the max booking, that will be the initial value. So init LV max booking, and we have to loop through the entities data. So in this case what we will do, let me put one dot at last, and we will loop through, instead of link data I will loop through the entities data this time. But for ls underscore entity, we have already declared ls underscore entity. No, we didn't declare, so I will put ls underscore entity in in this particular entities, loop at entities, control C, control V. Same way, using key, we will use the same key, using key, importing parameter I have used entities only, using key, using key. So again I will pass the using key, control space, what is the key is there, for loop inside this one, ls underscore, let me copy this one, control C, I'm doing something wrong, for inside this particular entities, using key, control C, this will be same travel ID, control C, control V. But in this case we don't have the source, instead of having, we have in the entities what we have, control ls underscore, control C, we have directly I think travel ID, F control V. For loop init I think I did wrongly, init LV max number, this type is already declared, but I no need to initialize this one, but I have to pass some value here. What I have to do, I have to declare the init value. Obviously I have to declare new variable, in this case LV underscore max, this will be local to this one, and I have to initialize with this value. Now it is okay. So I did little mistake, other thing is fine, but in this case ls entity, we have the travel ID, we can access directly travel ID also, and we can access through the key, and we want to just loop through this particular where condition, and we want to calculate next. But again we have to put 2-time loop here, one time for the, because this time I have to see, if you see the entities type F2, in this case we have the CID, we have the travel ID directly, so that is the reason. But we have the target, I want to loop through this target. For one travel ID we can have multiple booking, so again I have to put one more loop. In this case I want to loop for ls underscore booking. So in this case I will loop through the control C, control V, control space. So in this case I will loop through this particular target. I will do this target. What is error I am getting? For filled in group, filled in group expected entity. Okay, I will do the loop in this case. So for that what I will do, I will calculate the next number here like we did for that. Next LV underscore max number we will calculate, control C, control V. In this case also we will put one conditional operator, same way we have put like this. Let me copy out this one, control C, but this time the values will be different. The LV max we have to check from this particular booking, control C, control V, booking, and we have to check like that, booking, control space, booking ID. We have booking ID, yeah. So currently whatever the if booking ID whatever available in the current screen is less than LV max, then we will get the booking ID is the Control C, this particular booking ID, otherwise we will take as a max. So I think that's it, but still okay, in this where condition no need to pass here, travel ID directly I can pass, travel ID equal to group ID, that's it. So like that we have to get the max booking for from the screen as well. So I hope you got understood. It's little bit complicated, but it's good to learn always new syntax. So in this case what we did, we again instead of initializing with the 0 value, we initialize with the max booking which was available from the last statement, and we loop through the entity, same with using the key, entity key. In this also, if you see F2, in this entities also we have the secondary key as a entity, secondary key entity, and one secondary key as a CID. I am using the secondary key as a entity, and I am passing the travel ID from this particular group by. Now it will loop through only the entities which belong to this particular travel, and this particular travel, because we have the booking as well, so we have the target as well, because we are reading by association in this case. So we have to loop through further this booking, the target in the booking, and we have to check what is the max booking currently available on the screen. So if it is the max number, then it will not update it new max number, and we will get the max number that only. And if we have the max number in the current statement, then we will get the new max number here. So this is how we have to calculate the new max booking number. Now let's move to the last step. The last step will be what we have to do. We have to loop through these entities again, and we have to update, as I told you, if you do the entities F2, not this one, we have to update the map table. So with our latest booking number, because the booking number will be not there for this particular in entities, wherever it is initial, for those only we have to update. So that is the reason we have to loop through these entities again. So in this case what I will do, but in this case when I will loop, I will make sure that I will loop through only those entries which is available in current loop. So for that, what we will do, why we are looping this, to make sure that travel ID should not be initial, booking ID is not already assigned, because this will be called in the draft scenario 2 times. If you are not working with the draft scenario, directly you can update the map table, not an issue. But I am making sure that in the draft scenario also my code will work. So that is the reason I'm looping again this particular looping 8. I will tell you, looping 8, control space, loop 8 assigning this particular entities, control V. At this time I will declare another fill symbol, ls underscore entity, which I didn't declare, I think so, or I have declared somewhere, I hope so. I have already declared. So let me declare ls underscore entities instead of entity. I will declare ls underscore entities in this time, but when I loop through this one, I have to use the what is this one, field symbol. Okay, this is field symbol, so we have to put in this inside this one. We have to make sure we have to use the key, because we know we have the key as an entity. So you can do we have 2 keys. I want to use the key entity, then I have to put where condition as well, where the travel ID should be equal to whatever the current travel ID in this group. I just want to loop through only those travel ID, and since I am using the key entity, so it will be faster. It's not loop entire entities, because we are using the secondary key here. So that's you have to make sure. So you can little bit rearrange using key, and where condition also you can rearrange, so it will be visible properly. Once we have looped through this particular entries, shift F1, what I have to do, I have to find out again. If you do F2 over here, I have to find out in this target what all are the bookings are initial. So I have to again loop through this particular target. So let me see this derived type. I can loop through, not an issue. So for that, what I will do, loop 8, control space, I will use again loop 8 assigning this particular table, control C, control V, and this time I want to loop through this particular target table, which is again, if you do the F2 over here, this is the internal table. The target is the derived type of this particular table. So that is the reason we are able to loop through this particular table. Once I will loop through this table, I will check this particular booking ID is initial or not. So I will assign first field symbol, assigning field symbol, or you can use either data also. Let me assign some field symbol, and this will be booking, ls underscore booking detail. In this we have the booking detail, and one by one I will loop through all the booking detail. First I will check that if this particular booking, control space, booking ID, okay, booking ID is initial, then only I will do further, otherwise I don't want to do anything. And if I want to check that booking ID should be initial, because in the draft scenario, when you during the save sequence, this booking ID already get filled, so I don't want to fill again. So if it is initial, then only I want to fill this particular booking ID, otherwise I don't want to fill. So to fill this booking ID, I have to get the number. So what I will do in this case, LV max number plus equal to 10. I will use the new syntax again. You can, I'm just increasing number with the 10 to get the new booking number, and whatever I got this particular new booking number, I will map those entries in the in this one. So we have F2 mapping table. In this particular map table, mapped, control C, I want to append those entries in the mapped, control space if you do, in the booking. But before that I have to fill this particular. So what I will do, append this particular, control C, control V, to corresponding, I'm doing something wrong, I'm not getting help, means you can make sure that whenever you are not getting help, means you are doing something wrong. So I did little mistake here, so I have to do append to this particular, that is I'm sure, but this type and this type is not same, so you have to use append corresponding values of this one, so corresponding, control X, this one, ls booking, whatever the booking value to the mapped value. In this, what all are the corresponding value, means I want to map the CID, travel ID and booking ID. So all the corresponding values from the CID, travel ID and booking ID will be moved to this particular new. I want to assign these values to a new field symbol also, assigning field symbol, so I can update the values again, ls underscore new booking, new map booking book. And in this case, what I will do, I will pass the control C, control V, I can access the values again. In this case, booking ID, I will pass booking ID equal to new booking ID, control V, and I have assigned, successfully updated the new booking ID with that one. Shift F1. Let me see if I something did wrong. I think we will get to know if we did wrong during the debugging mode. Let me activate as of now, Shift F1, and let me shift this one, control F3, and let me create real-time booking and debug this method, how it is working, so we can see really how the particular booking number is assigned when we create the new booking. To debug, as I told you previously, we have to make sure you have to go here and first make sure that you have to go to properties. Sometimes the debugger will not trigger. You have to go to properties and you have to check that in the debugger external debugging is on for this your user ID, not this user ID, and apply and close, and you have to put a breakpoint. You can go to the debug perspective and you can delete if some existing breakpoints are there, you can delete, but in my case there is no existing breakpoints. So let me let me activate first, control F3, and let me put this breakpoint, and let me switch to again ABAP perspective, and let me put one breakpoint on my authority check method also, so I make sure that my debugger is triggering properly. So in this case, let me go to my binding to run my application again, service binding. I put the breakpoint both the places. Let's select the travel TechM and preview my application. I have already logged in, so I hope so it will preview my application, and as soon as I click on go button, it should trigger the breakpoint because I have the authority check method is there, even there is no code, but it should trigger. I hope so it will trigger, but it is not triggering. That means something wrong, that breakpoint is not triggering. Let me see. There was something wrong, so due to that the debugger was not triggering. What I did, I usually do, if it is not triggering, even though I set the breakpoint in the ABAP perspective, even I have set, it was not triggering. I closed my Eclipse, I restarted Eclipse, I deleted all the breakpoints from the debugger, and I cleared the cache from browser as well from last 24 hours and whenever I started Eclipse. Everything I did, and now it is triggering well. So I put again breakpoint again in this end method. Let me go here and click on go button. It's triggering now. You can see it is triggering, and now I can put the breakpoint in my relevant method which I want to debug. It will trigger only when I will create the new bookings. So let me do F8. As of now it is not triggering, and let me come to my application preview. Let me descending order sort this all the things. Again it is triggering. Let me remove now breakpoint from the authorization check. I don't want to trigger again and again. Let me do F8 and come again, and this time I want to create some of the in 4170, as we know from my video, we don't have any booking. You can see we don't have any booking. I want to create new booking for 4170. So you have to come here, you have to click on create button. As you can see, the booking number is the read only we have made in my last video. You can give any airline ID, flight price you can give. As of now it should be calculating auto, but as of now I'm giving some random prices, so you have to make sure everything should be calculated on fly. That we will do in the determination video. And booking date, let me book today itself. Flight number also we have to give. There is no flight number. Let me cancel it. Something you can give or leave it. Let me status as a new. Customer ID you can give customer ID, some customer ID, and flight date also you can give whenever the flight date it is. On you can click on create button. As soon as you click on create button, your debugger should trigger because you have breakpoint there. So you can see in the read entities of this early numbering for the booking, we got this particular method got triggered. So let me go to variable tab, and I want to see what all are the data in this particular travel TechM, not in this one, in the entities, which is the importing parameter. If you open this entities in your browser, so let me see the entities. So we have one entity. In this one entities, it can have multiple in case of other applications, but in this case we have only one entity. So in this one entity, they have CID references blank. Why CID references blank? Because we have already travel ID created with 4170. If you created the travel ID now itself, there is no travel ID assigned to that is having only CID number. That CID number will be assigned here as a CID reference. But in this case, the travel ID already we are having, so that is the reason we are having the travel ID, and the CID reference is blank. But if you are creating the travel ID now itself, I will show you that scenario also. That time the CID reference will be filled. In the target, you can see we have only one booking as of now, which we are going to create, where one CID is there, because for this booking ID we didn't assign yet any number. That is the reason we can see the new CID number here. So that is the thing I was explaining in the theory as well. So let me loop through these particular entities, which is grouped by travel. So in this case only we have one travel, it will loop one time only. So let me do F5 calculate for the LV max booking. In this case, since the LT link data is blank, so it will not loop and the LV max booking will be the 000 only. But in other case also, since there is no entities available in the front end also, we are creating first entity, again the LV max booking will be 00 only. But when I loop through all the entities again to fill the map that particular entity and fill that booking number, so I will be looping this particular entities, and we have the one target only with the currently there is CID number is there, but booking ID is not assigned. So I am checking the booking ID is initial. Yes, booking ID is initial. I am adding the LV max booking as a plus minus 10. So I got the new number as a 0010, I think so. So let me double click here, LV. So you can see 0010 we got. What I am doing, I am appending this booking whatever we have read to the mapped ID, corresponding entries, means the travel ID and booking ID and CID number that will go to this particular map booking. Currently it is blank, so as soon as I do F5, it will be corresponding value CID number, travel ID and booking ID come. Now I will fill this booking ID with the new booking ID 0010. That's how I have filled the mapped table. Once I fill the map table and if I do F8, the method got executed successfully. We came to at the end of the method. All loops run one time only. If I do F8 now, because we are working with the single travel instance, you can see data is saved and booking number 10 got assigned. So like that it is got assigned. And let me come back one more time and see booking number. Let me create one more booking ID. So this time already 10 is created, but let me create the one more booking ID with the some airline ID, some price USD, some flight booking date is today's date only I will give, and flight number is blank, let it be. And in this also new customer number I will give some other customer number this time, and flight date let me give 19. Let me create another booking. This is the reason LT link data also having one, we are having the one entry already. So you can see in the LT link data we have the source is the travel ID 110 and target we have only one target with the 00. So this is the structure of the source and target will be having in the LT link data. If I do loop through this one and I'm trying to find the LV max booking, in this scenario if you see the LV max booking is the 0010 already filled. But since again I am looping through entities also, in entities also we are having the one entity only. Currently you can see is 4170 and target is having the with the same number we already existing in this entities. Okay, why we are looping in the entities which is requesting for the entities table, all the entities will be available which is requesting for booking ID. But in this case I can see there is no booking IDs assigned for the existing entries. So you can say booking ID is 000. So some of the case in the draft scenario what will happen, the booking ID is already assigned. So in that case this particular statement will be useful, but in this case this LV max booking is not useful at all, this statement, because in the entity it will return only those entities which is requesting for the booking ID, and the booking ID is 000 already. But in this case we have to assign booking ID for this case, so this will be not updated and booking ID will be 0010 only. Again I am looping through the table, target, appending, I am calculating new booking ID, and the booking ID, new booking ID will become 0020 and it will be assigned. And if I do F8, it will be updated in the front end as a 20. So you can see 20, and if you come back here you can see already the 10 and 20 got filled over here. I can create another video on the booking supplement, but I don't want to create because the same concept again I am repeating. So if you know the reduce operator, loop with the group by, and the how to read the statement, these three things you know, you can do the supplement also. But still I will show you the code. I already written the code and I will show you how it is working as well. So that code we have to write basically in the booking entities, the behavior pool class, which already generated in my last video. So we have to go to the booking Techem. We already have the numbering method generated there, numbering for the booking. So here we have to write the code for the booking supplement numbering. So what we can do, I have already coded this one. So I can just copy out this particular code, Control C, and paste it here, and I will explain you what I did. I did the same thing, whatever I have did in the booking to get the number for booking, I did for this code for the get the number for booking supplement. So line by line I will explain the code. Generally I don't copy paste the code, but this is again we are repeating the same thing, and what I feel it will be the repetition. Anyway, the video also becoming longer, I have to explain another concepts also apart from numbering. So in this one you can see we are reading the entities of the travel taken only. This is our the root entity or business object. This time instead of reading the travel, we are reading the booking entity with the association with booking supplement. Last time in my previous, both are similar to link our travel. In last time we read the travel entity and we read the booking, but this time what we did, instead of reading the travel, we read the booking taken and the with respect to booking supplement. You can see here. So both are going parallelly only. There is no much difference, so that is the reason. So you can see here, let me activate this code first, Control F3. I don't have any error. Then second thing, what we are doing, we are looping through entities. If you do F2 on the entities, this time you got the booking along with the booking. If you see the importing exporting parameter, this is the type of booking taken and with association to the booking tech. If you do the F2 over here, this is the type table of create booking along with the association of the booking supplement. So here we have the CID reference again, we have travel ID, we have booking ID. In target, if you see, it will be the supplement type. We have the ID, content ID, and all the fields of the booking supplements, same how we were having in the booking. So I am looping through this booking entity, booking group I am creating, like I have created in the travel group, and this time the only difference I am using the TKY key. In the last travel entity, I directly use the where condition on the travel ID because the travel ID was available. Here also travel and booking ID both are available. I can group by travel and booking ID, but we can use here group key. So if you do here in the booking group, we have travel ID and booking ID. I can group by separately travel ID and booking ID, but we, instead of using the travel ID and group travel ID and booking ID separately, I can use either TKY or I can use key. If you see, both the derived type have the same field, but always prefer the TKY, transactional key, which will be helpful in your draft scenario. Instead of, if you are sure you are not going to create any draft scenario, then you can use directly key, but better to use TKY. Both have same field, and you have to use component group TKY. It have both the component, it will group by both the component travel ID and booking ID. And if you want to explicitly specify, you can specify explicitly as well. And here also I would have done instead of the travel ID, I would have done TKY. I can use here also TKY because TKY have the same travel ID field only, but here since we have multiple field, better to use group key instead of using the individual field. So that is the one thing. And there we have calculated max booking. Here we are calculating max booking supplement concept. Again we have looped through the entire entities same way. Here they have used the where condition travel ID and booking ID, or you can use here they use the group by, here they use the travel ID and booking ID as a where condition. In my previous case only we have used the travel ID for the grouping the data. You can see travel ID as a, and here also they have used the using secondary key. And same thing, we loop through the target. We appended the we appended the values in the mapped table and assigning the field symbol, and we updated in this field symbol we have assigned the supplement ID with plus equal to 1 number, and we got the new number. Let me debug and show you how it is working. Let me do Control F3. That was very quicker, I know, but again if I write this much code and explain, it will be very unnecessary, what I feel. So that is the reason. Let me put one breakpoint and create one supplement ID and see how it is working. So in this case we have already created just now this for the 4170 this booking. Let me create one booking supplement also. I have already one booking supplement. Let me create one more booking supplement. click on create button. So in this case you can say booking supplement number is blank. What product you want, just choose the product, values automatically come, just click on create button. It will trigger the breakpoint to F5, and if you can see the booking supplement, already one entity is existing, and in this one is a 1, and with the source and target you can see source is this one, travel ID and booking ID. Target we have travel ID, booking ID, and the booking supplement as a 01. So we want to find out the max booking supplement ID. We already found out it's a 1, and same thing we are doing with the entity table also. We did with the database table and entity table both, but we have still 01 only, and we have assigned we are looping through these entities. Same way whatever we did, we are looping through these entities, and we are getting the next booking supplement ID as a 02. I will paste this code for your reference. I will give the link I will give the link to the for you guys for the code in the description. You can refer that code and you can just go through that code, or if you want to write yourself, that is very good. Once you write yourself only, then only you will get the feel. That will be better. Instead of copy pasting, I always prefer the writing the code. Let me do F8, and you can see booking supplement number 2 code created. You can see, you come back, you can see 2 booking supplement now, and you can come back for the 4174. Now we have 1 booking. For this 1 booking we have 2 booking supplement. In this video we have successfully created the numbering for our booking and booking supplement. And again I am telling, if you are not aware of the concepts of the loop with group by and reduce operator, I have explained in detail in my new new ABAP syntax playlist that you can watch out. There I have explained in detail. You will easily get to know how to generate how to use reduce operator and group by. And second thing, in my next video, what we will do, we will start with the actions, different kind of actions we will discuss. And before going to that video, please don't forget to like this video, share these videos with others as well. With that, thank you and happy learning.